Hey Taurus, I need to talk to you about something pretty serious that came up in this reading. I just pulled cards about someone from your past, and honestly, the energy here is concerning. This is not one of those light and fluffy readings where everything is sunshine and rainbows. What I am seeing involves someone who cannot seem to move forward, and the situation is escalating in ways that are genuinely worrying. So let me just jump right into what the cards are showing, because I think you need to hear this. I shuffled with your energy in mind, asking specifically about any exes or past connections that might still be affecting your energy field, and the cards that came out tell a very specific story. This is about someone who lost you and they are not handling it well at all. The first card I pulled is the Hierophant, and this immediately tells me we are talking about someone who had traditional expectations about your connection. This person saw you as the one in a very conventional sense. They had this whole vision mapped out in their head about how things were supposed to go. Marriage, settling down, the whole white picket fence scenario. The Hierophant represents structure, tradition, and established institutions. So this person was not just casually dating you, they genuinely believed you two were headed towards something permanent and socially recognized. What makes this interesting is that the Hierophant also represents seeking guidance from established systems. This person probably comes from a background where certain relationship milestones are expected at certain times. They might have family who was already planning weddings in their heads or asking when you two were going to make things official. There was this weight of expectation around your connection that went beyond just the two of you. But here is where it gets deeper. The Hierophant can also represent someone who follows rules and traditions maybe a bit too rigidly. This person might have had very specific ideas about how relationships should work, what roles each person should play, and they were not very flexible about it. When you were together, they probably tried to fit your relationship into this pre-existing template they had in their mind, rather than letting it develop organically. And I am sensing that might have been part of why things did not work out. You are a Taurus, you value authenticity and genuine connection. If something feels forced or overly structured without room for natural growth, you are going to feel it, and eventually you are going to walk away. The energy of the Hierophant here also suggests this person sought validation from external sources. They cared a lot about what other people thought about your relationship, how things looked to friends, family, maybe even on social media. There was this need for your connection to appear successful and traditional to the outside world. And when you left, it was not just losing you privately, it was this public loss that they had to explain to everyone who knew about you too. Now here is what is really important about the Hierophant showing up first. This card is making me understand that this person is now seeking guidance about the breakup, but they are going about it in all the wrong ways. They might be talking to everyone who will listen, asking friends what they should do, maybe even reaching out to spiritual advisors or therapists, but not actually doing the internal work needed to heal and move on. They are looking for someone to give them the magic formula to get you back or to make sense of why you left, rather than accepting the reality of the situation. The second card is Three of Wands and O Taurus. This is where the story starts to get uncomfortable. Three of Wands is about waiting and watching from a distance. This is someone standing on a shore, looking out at the horizon, waiting for their ships to come in. In this context, this person is watching you from a distance. They have not moved on. They are monitoring your life, keeping tabs on what you are doing, where you are going, who you are with. Three of Wands can be a positive card about expansion and looking toward future opportunities. But in this reading, it has a much more stagnant energy. This person is stuck in this waiting pattern. They are not actively living their life. They are existing in this state of suspended animation where everything revolves around the hope that you will come back. They wake up every day scanning for signs that you might be thinking about them, that you might reach out, that the universe might bring you back together. The watching from afar aspect of this card is really pronounced here. Social media stalking is definitely happening. They probably look at your profiles multiple times a day, even though you are not connected anymore. They might have burner accounts, or they might be checking through mutual friends. Every photo you post, every status update, They are analyzing it for hidden meanings. Did you post a sad song? Does that mean you miss them? Did you post yourself having fun? Are you trying to make them jealous? Everything becomes about them in their mind, even though you are just living your life. What is particularly telling about Three of Wands is the sense of entitlement that comes with it. This person is waiting like they have a right to have you return. Like you are a ship that they sent out and naturally you should come back to port. They have not accepted that you made a choice to leave. In their mind, this is just a temporary separation, a phase, something that will eventually correct itself. They are waiting for you to realize you made a mistake, to see that the grass is not greener, to come back apologizing. The Three of Wands also represents long-distance watching and planning. This person might be planning what they will say when you reconnect. They are rehearsing conversations in their head, imagining scenarios where you bump into each other, fantasizing about your reunion. They have probably written unsent messages, drafted emails they never sent, composed texts they typed out and deleted. Their mind is constantly in the future, in this imaginary timeline where you come back, rather than being present in their actual reality. And here is something that is making me a bit uneasy. Three of Wands can also represent travel and expansion of reach. This person might be showing up in places they know you frequent. Not in an obvious way, but in a way where they can claim it is coincidence. Your favorite coffee shop, the gym you go to, places you mentioned you liked. They are extending their reach into your physical space while maintaining this facade of distance. The third card I pulled is Six of Pentacles, and this is where alarm bells started going off for me. Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving charity and imbalanced exchanges. In this reading, this person is trying to insert themselves back into your life through giving. They want to be the generous benefactor, the helpful ex, the person who is still there for you even though you broke up. This might manifest in really specific ways. They might try to send you money if they know you are going through any financial challenges. They could offer to help you with something they know you need, fix your car, help you move, connect you with a job opportunity. They are looking for any excuse to have contact with you and to create a sense of obligation. Because Six of Pentacles is not about equal exchange. It is about one person having more and giving to someone with less, which creates a power dynamic. The manipulation here is subtle, but it is real. By positioning themselves as the giver, they get to feel superior, and they get to create a situation where you might feel like you owe them something. Even if you do not ask for their help, they might force it on you. Sending gifts you did not request, paying for things without your permission, doing favors you never wanted. And then if you try to refuse or set boundaries, they can paint themselves as the hurt party who is just trying to be nice. Six of Pentacles in this position also tells me this person might be talking about you to mutual friends or family in a very specific way. They are being the bigger person, the one who still cares, the one who wants the best for you even though you hurt them. They are controlling the narrative by appearing generous and mature while subtly implying that you are the one who is being cold or unreasonable by not accepting their gestures. There is also a financial or material component here that feels important. This person might be someone who has more resources than you do, or at least they want you to think they do. They could be flashing money around, posting about expensive purchases, making sure you know they are doing well materially. This is partly trying to make you regret leaving because look at what you are missing, and partly trying to create the image that they are thriving when internally, they are falling apart. The fourth card is the Magician, and here is where the energy shifts into something I need you to really pay attention to. The Magician is about manifestation, willpower, and using all available tools to create a desired outcome. This person is actively trying to make something happen. They are not just passively waiting anymore, they are taking action, and some of those actions are concerning. The Magician has access to all four suits, all four elements, all the tools on the table in front of them. In this context, that means this person is using every method they can think of to try to influence the situation. Some of this might be relatively harmless, like manifestation rituals, writing your name down, using law of attraction techniques, maybe even visiting psychics or doing spell work to try to bring you back. But the magician can also represent manipulation and using skills in a calculated way. This person knows what buttons to push with you. They know your weaknesses, your soft spots, the things that make you respond. And they are strategically using that information. If they know you are compassionate, they might play the victim. If they know you feel guilty easily, they might remind you of all the good times and make you feel bad for leaving. If they know you respond to jealousy, they might post things designed to make you jealous. They are being calculated in their approach. The magician is also the card of communication, and this person is probably reaching out through multiple channels. Text messages from different numbers, emails, social media DMs, maybe even having friends pass along messages. They are determined to get through to you, and they are not taking silence for an answer. Every blocked number leads to a new method of contact. Every boundary you set, they find a way around. What really concerns me about the magician here is the level of focus and intensity. This is not someone who is casually hoping you might reconnect. This is someone who has made getting you back their primary focus. They might be neglecting other areas of their life because so much mental and emotional energy is going into this mission of reconnection. Work performance might be slipping, friendships might be suffering, but in their mind, none of that matters if they can just get you back. The magician reversed, or in a challenging position, can also indicate lies and deception. This person might be presenting a false version of themselves to try to lure you back. They could be claiming they have changed, gotten therapy, worked on their issues, when in reality they have done none of those things. They are showing you the version of themselves they think you want to see rather than being authentic about where they actually are in their healing process. The fifth card is Eight of Cups, and this is the turning point in the story. Eight of Cups shows someone walking away from a situation that no longer serves them. In your reading, Taurus, this represents you and the choice you made to leave. You walked away from this connection because something was missing. Even if things looked good on the surface, even if this person gave you material security or social status, there was an emotional or spiritual emptiness that you could not ignore anymore. Eight of Cups is one of the most emotionally mature cards in the deck. It takes real courage to walk away from something you have invested in, especially when there is no dramatic reason, no big betrayal, just this quiet knowing that it is not right. And that is what you did. You listened to your inner voice even though it might have been easier to stay. Even though people might not have understood your reasons. Even though this person might have seemed perfect on paper. What is significant about Eight of Cups appearing here is that it validates your decision. The cards are confirming that you were right to leave. You were not being dramatic. You were not making a mistake. You were honoring your deeper needs and your authentic path. Sometimes the hardest breakups are not the ones where someone did something obviously wrong. They are the ones where you just know in your soul that this is not your person, this is not your path, and you have to trust that knowing even when you cannot fully explain it to others. But here's the thing, Taurus. Eight of Cups represents your journey away from this situation. Meanwhile, all the other cards I have pulled represent this person refusing to accept your journey. They are watching you walk away, but they are not accepting it as final. They see you moving toward your emotional fulfillment, and they are trying to intercept that journey, to call you back, to convince you that what you are seeking is with them. The Eight of Cups also tells me you have been strong about your boundaries so far. You have not responded to the reaching out. You have not been swayed by the gifts or the manipulation attempts. You know what you are moving toward even if you cannot see it clearly yet, and you are trusting that vision. That takes serious strength, and I want you to acknowledge yourself for that. The sixth and final card is Page of Cups, and I have to tell you, this is where things get really real about what is happening on the other end. Page of Cups represents emotional immaturity, fantasy, and living in an imaginative world rather than dealing with reality. This person is drowning in their emotions, and they are not processing them in a healthy adult way. Pages in tarot represent the beginning stages of something, the immature expression of their suit. Page of Cups specifically is about being overwhelmed by feelings, not knowing how to handle intense emotions, and escaping into fantasy rather than facing the truth. This person is emotionally at a teenage level right now when it comes to handling this breakup. They are acting out, they are dramatic, they are not using any kind of mature coping mechanisms. The fantasy element of Page of Cups is really strong here. This person is living in a complete fantasy world where you two are destined soulmates, and this separation is just a test that you will overcome together. They might be obsessively consuming content about twin flames, divine timing, meant-to-be connections. They are feeding themselves stories that confirm their fantasy rather than accepting reality. Every love song is about you two. Every movie about lost love gives them hope. Every story of exes getting back together becomes proof that you will too. But here is what is really concerning, and this connects to your title about addiction and family intervention. Page of Cups can represent unhealthy emotional habits and addictive behaviors used to cope with feelings. This person is not handling their emotions about losing you in a healthy way. They might be self-medicating with substances, alcohol, other drugs, anything to numb the pain or to escape the reality that you are gone. The Page of Cups can also represent someone who is drowning, literally or figuratively. This person is going under emotionally. They are not okay. And while that is not your responsibility and you should not break your boundaries because of it, the people around them are probably starting to notice. Family members might be getting worried. Close friends might be seeing concerning behavior. There is a growing awareness in their circle that this person is not coping well and something needs to be done. The family intervention energy that you mentioned is absolutely present in this card. When someone cannot manage their emotions and their behavior starts affecting their life in serious ways, the people who love them eventually have to step in. This person might be missing work, canceling plans, not taking care of basic responsibilities, engaging in risky behavior. At some point, their support system is going to have to address what is happening. What breaks my heart about Page of Cups here is that this person is so lost in their feelings about you that they cannot see how they are harming themselves. They have made you the answer to all their problems. If they could just get you back, everything would be okay. They would be happy, they would be motivated, they would stop whatever destructive patterns they are in. But that is a fantasy. You are not responsible for their healing or their choices. So, Taurus, let me bring all of this together for you because you need to see the full picture. What I am seeing is someone who had very traditional, serious intentions about your relationship. When you walked away because something was missing emotionally, they completely spiraled. They are stuck in this pattern of watching you from afar, trying to insert themselves back into your life through giving and creating obligation, actively using manipulation tactics to try to influence you, all while refusing to accept that you have chosen a different path. And underneath all of that calculated behavior, they are falling apart. They are not processing their emotions in a healthy way. They are likely engaging in addictive or self-destructive behaviors as a coping mechanism. Their life is being negatively impacted to the point where people around them are noticing and becoming concerned. At some point, there probably will be or already has been some kind of intervention from family or close friends trying to get this person help. What you need to understand is that none of this is your fault and none of it is your responsibility to fix. You made a choice to honor your authentic needs and walk away from a situation that was not right for you. How this person chooses to respond to that is entirely on them. You cannot set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. You cannot go back to a relationship that was not fulfilling you just because the other person is not handling the breakup well. I also want you to be careful moving forward. Someone who is this obsessed, this unable to let go, this willing to use manipulation tactics can potentially escalate. I am not trying to scare you, but I do think you need to maintain firm boundaries. Do not respond to reaching out even if they seem to be in crisis. Do not accept gifts or favors. Do not let mutual friends guilt you into contact. If this person shows up at places you frequent, document it. If the contact becomes excessive or threatening, do not hesitate to take legal steps to protect yourself. I really hope this reading gave you some clarity about what is happening in this situation. If you have been feeling like something was off, like someone was watching or trying to manipulate their way back in, trust that feeling. The cards confirm what you have probably been sensing. Stay strong in your boundaries, Taurus. You did the brave thing by walking away, and you deserve to move towards something that truly serves your highest good.